Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown 205 Live Results video for this week of March the 7th, March the 6th episode. Birthdays, you got March the 3rd, Justin Gabriel, 1981. Hanson of the War Raiders, 1984. March 4th birthdays, Sarita, 1979. Dalton Castle, 1986. March 5th birthday, Jordan Grace, 1996. March 6th birthdays, Val Venus, 1971. Mr. Kennedy, 1976. Bruce Pritchard, a.k.a. Brother Love, March the 7th, 1963. Chase Owens, 1990. Tyler Bate, 1997. And Major Guns, 1972. NXT Tag Team Champion Matt Riddle and Bianca Belair were in attendance for Monday's Raw from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on Monday. And 4W Online reports that Belair was there to see her husband, Montez Ford, win the Raw Tag Team Championship with his partner, Angelo Dawkins. Riddle was there for unrelated business, but there's no word yet on that what it was. NXT Tag Team Champion Matt Riddle and NXT Superstar Brown. I copied that twice. Montez Ford and Street Profits captured the Raw Tag Team titles from Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. In an update, NXT Superstars Vanessa Bourne and Mansoor were also backstage on Raw. According to PW Insider, no word yet on why they were brought to Raw or if it was related to why Riddle was there. Charlotte Flair was backstage at Raw this week, despite not appearing. While it was reported that she was not at Raw, she indicated on her Instagram story that she was there. Flair should return to Raw TV next week, or she could possibly appear on NXT this Wednesday to continue the WrestleMania 36 feud with Women's Champion, NXT Champion Rhea Ripley. Speaking of Belair being at Raw, she took to Twitter to comment on Ford winning the Raw Tag Team titles on Monday night. Copied the news on Tuesday. She wrote, "My husband at Montez Ford WWE is a # Raw Tag Team Champion, so happy I could be there to share the moment with you." Face throwing a kiss emoji. This is going to be a fun journey. # Street Profits at Angelo Dawkins. Women's Tag Team titles, Tag Team Champion Asuka is expected to be able to wrestle in Sunday's Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match with Shayna Baszler, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Natalya. According to F4WOnline.com, Asuka was pulled from Raw match with Baszler, replaced by partner Kairi Sane, due to a left wrist sprain. She reportedly suffered that injury at a WWE Super Show live event over the weekend. UFC Hall of Famer Chuck Liddell recently spoke with TMZ Sports and expressed interest in possibly working with for WWE in the near future. Of course, I still do WWE. I still do pro wrestling. That'd be a lot of fun, actually. I'd like that, said Liddell, who confirmed that he is retired from MMA action. Liddell immediately admitted he doesn't keep up with WWE these days and wasn't sure who his dream match would be against, but he'd likely do something with The Rock. "I'd like to have one match," Liddell admitted. "I'm impressed by the stuff those guys do." Liddell retired from UFC in late 2010 after being inducted into Hall of Fame in the summer of 2009. He returned to fighting in November 2018 for one more bout against UFC Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz for Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Ortiz won that fight by KO in the first round. Hall of Famer Mick Foley was backstage for last night's Raw from Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Foley was filming material for a new project with WWE, according to PW Insider. No word yet on the details, but the project was described as community outreach program. On a related note, Rusev was also backstage at Raw, but obviously not used on camera. Lana was not at Raw, and word going around was that she had booked a movie role and was filming for that project. I'll give you more news later in this video. Bray Wyatt took to Twitter and reacted to former tag team partner and rival Matt Hardy leaving WWE. "Don't go. crying face emoji. Wyatt wrote. Matt responded with a gif of the two and wrote, I will always be near my beloved compeer. Also noted on Monday, WWE confirmed Matt's departure and thanked him for his contributions, also wishing him the best in his future endeavors. Matt confirmed on Sunday night that he had let his WWE contract expire. It looks like the door remains open for a potential return down the line, but Matt said he needed a break from WWE. There have been talk of a possible job in WWE NXT for Hardy, but there's no word yet on what happened with those talks. Jeff Hardy had a one-on-one interview with Renee Young at this link, who asked Jeff about his brother's contract recently expiring and where he could end up next. Jeff responded that he and his brother had hardly talked about what Matt's next steps were. Backstage, Young also asked about Hardy's up and down since he was away from WWE. On the night of October 3rd, I got into some trouble. The morning of October the 4th, I arranged for me to go to inpatient rehab for the first time in my life. Hardy said, it was one of the best things I could have ever done for myself, and I've done something every day to better myself. Here is a first look at a future WWE FCW story on the WWE Network. We're documentary at this link, focusing on the Florida Championship Wrestling developmental territory that became WWE NXT. It will be available on the WWE Network on demand section beginning 10 a.m. Eastern Time this coming Sunday. The clip features Big E talking about his former ritual of having his pinfalls counted to 5 instead of 3. The medics who checked on WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix after taking the RKO from Randy Orton on from Raw were enhancement talents, Creative Pro Champion, VSK, and Smart Mark Sterling, who is the producer of Zack Ryder and Kurt Hogan's major wrestling figure podcast. Several local Northeast indie wrestlers were also used for No Way Jose's conga line in the backstage segment with Eric Rowan from Raw, Sean Donovan, Steve Monster Mac, Steven Azure, Slade, Nikki Duke, Ava Everett, Liam Davis, Wrecking Ball Legursky, Vicious Vicky, and Julia Rose. Many of the enhancement talents used on Raw this week were talent from Wrestling Russell Pro, which is owned by WWE producer Pat Buck. Also noted, Eric Rowan revealed on Raw that he has had a large pet tarantula in his mystery cage that has been teased for a few months now. Rowan Spider is an animatronic robot. Kind of figured that. According to PW Insider, animatronic puppets are often used in movie and theme park attractions and are described as electro-mechanically animated puppets. But when they did the segment when he got bit a couple of weeks ago, how could that be possible? He wrote, people that like to buzz around usually get caught in a web. You know the rest. WWE officials reportedly held a meeting about the coronavirus before Monday's Raw at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. The meeting with the roster was done to go over the latest available information on the virus. According to PW Insider, talents were also told what they can do to protect themselves while traveling on the road for the company. The virus has started to spread across the United States as the first U.S. coronavirus deaths have been confirmed, thus California and in Florida. And since I'm doing this video on Friday, there's been reports of Texas as well. Seen something on the news last night about it. This video is on Saturday. Also noted earlier this week, the first cases of the coronavirus were confirmed in Tampa, Florida, where WrestleMania 36 will be held. The case were confirmed just days after WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon and WWE Executive Vice President of Special Events Johnson Burr were asked if WWE is ready for the coronavirus while at WrestleMania 36 luncheon at Raymond James Stadium last week. Heck, why don't you go buy you a Corona beer? You get sick from it? It's called coronavirus. Just kidding. More serious than that. The health and safety of not only our fan base, but also our superstars really does come first. Stephanie told the media, we don't want to put anyone in a bad situation ever, regardless of the circumstance. Those are not risks we're taking. Rob Higgins, executive director of the Tampa Bay Sports Commission, also addressed the coronavirus at last week's WrestleMania 36 luncheon and said his group was working with the Hillsborough County Aviation Authority and the Tampa International Airport to ensure the safety of fans in the weeks leading up to the big week full of events. You've got to be nimble and you've got to be ready, Higgins said. 36 days is a long time, so it's hard to predict. I think we just continue to information gather as much as possible so that we are as prepared as possible. Stephanie added to that, and if necessary, enact those measures. USA Network has released the first sneak peek at the new Cannonball water-based competition series that will feature The Miz as the host. You can see the video here. And they're scheduled to start in the summer of this year. Actually, the note back in the summer of 2019, USA had ordered 10 episodes of the show, which featured contestants from across America who face off in the biggest, wettest, slipperiest water sports competition ever created. Well, how many others have been done? Thus, you have already seen them on TV. According to a press release, contestants will slide off a 100-foot water slide and drop from one of the world's fastest drop towers. Among other water activities, the winner will take home $10,000 cash prize. It was then revealed back in January that they had started filming the project. Miz will be joined by co-host Roski Diaz and sideline reporter Simon Gibson. USA and Miz both tweeted on the new project on Thursday. I'm hosting the biggest water sports competition ever created. Between watching competitors performing extreme obstacles or laughing at the uncanny chemistry from at Roski Diaz, at Simi Gibson, and myself. The fun never stops. Hashtag Cannonball premieres on USA_Network summer 2020. Miz wrote. USA also added, are you ready for the biggest, wettest, and wildest water competition ever? Join at Mike the Miz, at Roski Diaz, and at Simi Gibson as they host hashtag Cannonball this summer on USA Network. USA confirmed that the series will premiere this summer. Stay tuned for more updates on the premiere date. Looks like JBL and Hall of Famer Ron Simmons, known as APA, could be going into the Hall of Fame together this year. On Backstage, they announced that JBL has been announced for this year's Hall of Fame edition. Not Farouk or Ron Simmons yet. A recent lineup for the 2020 Hall of Fame class now had the NWO, Batista, the Bella Twins, the British Bulldog, David Boy Smith, Jushin Thunder Liger, and the APA. According to a new report from at Russell Votes, it's possible that changes were made to that list, but this could be the final lineup of the main talents for this year. Speculated that JBL and Simmons will be the special guests for tonight from Backstage on AFS1, but I only seen JBL. Also noted, episode will feature the next announcement, 2020 Hall of Fame. Just said that. Former WWE Champion Psycho Sid Vicious had been pulled from WrestleCon after he failed to provide requested material to the promoters. Sid had previously been booked for the big convention during WrestleMania 36 weekend by Bender, the big event. He was scheduled to participate in a wrestler / celebrity softball game at the unofficial WrestleMania 36 pre-party on WrestleMania Sunday. WrestleCon noted on Twitter that the game was to be called the Sid Vicious Softball Invitational due to his history with the spot. WrestleCon promoters responded to a fan who asked about Sid being removed from the convention roster and said they have been trying to get Sid to send them a video since November of last year. We canceled Sid because he didn't do what we asked of him since November. We asked for a simple video confirming he was booked, and Sunday was to be the Sid Vicious Softball Invitational, but after 4 months, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do this for us, they wrote. Sid has a history of no-showing events for major promotions and the indies. WrestleCon told another fan on Twitter that Sid can still appear at the event if another vendor wants to take a chance with him. They also revealed that a big part of the interest in having Sid was the naming rights to the softball game. CM Punk is set to co-star in another new supernatural horror movie called Jacob's Wife with horror legend Barbara Crampton, according to Deadline. Filming has wrapped on his previous project after an under-the-radar shoot in Canton, Mississippi. The movie was directed by Travis Stevens, who recently directed Punk's Girl on the Third Floor movie, which is now on Netflix. The trailer embedded for the movie, I did not get the link, is not the movie to be released in the future. Supernatural horror movie follows a woman in her late 50s who discovers a new sense of power that comes with a heavy toll. Following a chance encounter with the Master, the cast also includes Larry Fessenden, Bonnie Aarons, Robert Russler, Sarah Lind, Mark Kelly, and Naisha Bell. More updates on the movie as it comes, I'll give you, and the release date. As seen at this link, free agent Matt Hardy has released his first part of his free-to-delete series finale on YouTube. The video features a surprise appearance by AEW Executive Vice Presidents, the Young Bucks, in a move that will fuel the rumors on Hardy possibly signing with the company. The brothers appear at the end of the video. Matt wrote the following as the video description. In Free to Delete episode 10, Matt begins the preparation for his precarious plan to resurrect both Zenith and his #Broken Brilliance. All of the perilous pieces of Matt's prophetic puzzle come to fruition. The episode is currently trending on Twitter, and Matt commented on the success of the video, noting that the best is yet to come. Very grateful and humbled that the new #Free to Delete episode 10 is being so talked about that it's trending with bucks of youth in the U.S. So proud of what the FTD story has become, and the best is yet to come, he wrote. NBA Hall of Famer and former WCW star Dennis Rodman has been announced for the next episode of WWE Untold. The special will premiere on Sunday, March 22nd on the WWE Network on demand section at the 10 a.m. Eastern Time slot. Rodman was interviewed for the documentary along with Eric Bischoff and WWE Hall of Famers Hulk Hogan and DDP. Well, NWO is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Well, there's possibly more to it. WWE Raw superstar Titus O'Neil will be honoring his good friend Batista at a special event during WrestleMania 36 weekend in Tampa. Titus has announced the Bullard Bash 2020 for Friday, April 3rd at the Florida Aquarium in Tampa, Florida. The event is scheduled to run from 7:30 Eastern Time until 1 a.m. The event, hosted by Titus and his Bullard Family Foundation will celebrate the career of Batista, who will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame the night before, which will be on Thursday. There will be a SmackDown on Fox Watch Party from 8 to 10 p.m. Food tastings and drinks from top Tampa Bay area restaurants, and a cash bar from 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. VIP ticket holders will also receive all access to the VIP lounge with premium food and drinks. Titus is also advertising live entertainment and appearances by WWE superstars, including Randy Orton, Big Show, Cesaro, Natalya, and others. Tickets can be purchased. Did not get the link. Probably WWE.com. VIP tickets are $350, while general admission tickets are $200 for a day of tickets. Early bird pricing from now until March 6th is $125, and advanced pricing from March 7th through April 12th is $150 per ticket. The event is open to ages 21 and up, and the attire is casual. Well, 21 because it's drinking. Proceeds from ticket sales will go to support following charities: Bullard Family Foundation, Frankie's Friends, the Florida Aquarium, the Jason Ackerman Foundation, Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Congratulations to WWE Divas Champion Jillian, former Divas Champion Jillian Hall, on the birth of her second daughter. Jillian and Zach Farrow announced on Twitter and Instagram that Violet Elise Farrow was born at 4:57 p.m. on Tuesday, March 3rd. The baby girl weighed in at 7 pounds and 3 ounces, measuring at 20 inches long. And here's a link to her Instagram post. And she wrote on Instagram, "I am in love," heart emoji. "It wasn't an easy day by far. One of the hardest of my life. I wouldn't trade it for the world though. Meet our daughter, Violet Elise Farrow. One of the biggest blessings of my life." Heart emoji. Monday's Raw opened up with WWE Champion Lesnar and McIntyre, Drew McIntyre, going face-to-face ahead of their WrestleMania 36 match, where McIntyre will challenge for the WWE Championship. McIntyre has mentioned before about how he and Lesnar have not gone face-to-face before, but he's ready for the challenge. During the segment, McIntyre laid out Lesnar with a Claymore kick in the ring. McIntyre left the ring as Lesnar made his way back to his feet, but Lesnar was furious as he headed towards the back. When he reached the top of the stage, McIntyre came out of nowhere and laid Lesnar out with a Claymore kick. McIntyre then grabbed the WWE Championship belt and raised it over Lesnar to a huge pop for the crowd. As seen in this link here, Lesnar actually instructed McIntyre to grab the belt. As Lesnar was laying on the ground, he yelled, "Pick up the title." And McIntyre quickly obliged. The segment ended with McIntyre landing one more Claymore kick to drop Lesnar again. You can see all that in that video link. And thanks to at SENR11, found that on Reddit, Brock saying, "Pick up the belt." Well, Robert Stone can be seen in this link with the Robert Stone brand recently spoke with TMZ Sports, formerly known as Robbie E., who had run in Impact Wrestling and on the Indies, revealed why he's no longer wrestling at all. Go to that link. "This is very hard-hitting industry," Stone said. "You know, it's very physical, and I'm just going to be very honest. It's not for me. In that sense anymore, I'm a wimp. I can't handle it. I'd be getting killed by these guys, so I wanted to stay a part of it because I love it so much, and that's why I said if I'm on the outside of things, taking care of the talent, maybe I can make a lot more money, because if you do those things, they just don't know they could be, and I'm going to help them get those opportunities." Stone was then asking if there was one guy in another field that he'd love to work with and bring into WWE. He named Conor McGreeger. "You just said his name. I mean, Conor McGreeger was meant to be a part of sports entertainment," Stone said. "I think everyone kind of already knows that that it's just waiting time. His entrance, the way he talks, the way he walks, and the way he fights. I mean, this guy would be perfect for the Robert Stone brand. There's a lot of money for him to make in this, and I think he'll know that eventually, and he'll want to cross over. Stone is currently representing Chelsea Green on NXT as the first name under his Robert Stone brand. The former member of the Bromans signed with the WWE in March 2019 and has been working as a manager ever since. News that Lana confirmed at this week's Raw in Brooklyn was not at Raw in Brooklyn because she's filming a new movie project. In an update, Watching Observer newsletter reported that Lana, who has a new film role, had film roles in the past, is filming a movie with veteran actor Bruce Willis. This was not confirmed as the movie Lana is working on, but Willis is currently in Atlanta, Georgia, filming a new movie called Run of the Hitman, about a hitman who loses his daughter after being abandoned by his country. The hitman's past is wiped from his memory by a covert government agency, and the film follows him as he stops at nothing to get his daughter back. Looks like this is the movie that Lana is filming. Her recent Instagram photos are tagged in this link in Atlanta, as she has commented on being a deadly assassin and the baddest assassin in some of the photos. Alexa Bliss is featured in a new The More You See Her videos from the campaign, which can be found in this link by NBC Universal. Bliss encourages girls to pursue sports and talks about the importance of supporting military spouses. Raw superstar AJ Styles has been named Wrestler of the Decade by Pro Wrestling Illustrated and its readers. PWI's interview with AJ on the award and the full cover photo. I did not get the link, I do apologize, as AJ is featured with the award on the cover of the June 2020 issue, which includes the 2010 Decade Awards. AJ, who was expected to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania 36, was named PWI's Wrestler of the Year 2018. Styles has not tweeted on the Wrestler of the Decade award as of this video. Thanks to reader Bean McBroom for the following NXT UK spoilers from the tapings at the Coventry SkyDome Arena in Coventry, England. These will air on March the 12th on the WWE Network, also possibly March 19th. Sam Stoker and Lewis Howley defeated Darius and Andrilla. A male versus Danny Luna ended with no winner after NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Wright attacked them both. Aija Dragunov defeated a kid. Noam Dar defeated Ligero. Ashton Smith and Oliver Connor defeated Saxon Huxley and Tyson T-Bone. NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Wright defeated Danny Luna. Piper Niven came out after the match and saved Luna from a beatdown. Ridge Holland defeated Joseph Connors. Cassius Ohno defeated Kenny Williams. Gallus of Mark Carpy and Joe Kobe and Wolfgang defeated Trent Seven, Flash Morgan, Webster, and Dave Mastiff. Finn Balor defeated Alexander Wolf. Balor issued a challenge that was answered by Tyler Bate. The brawl ended with Balor retreating. Tonight's SmackDown opens up with a look back at John Cena and the Fiend Bray Wyatt from last week's episode. Live from the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, Michael Coleslaw welcomes us to the show. He's joined by Corey Graves. Only two on the show. Pyro explodes as they hype the show. We go right to the ring for a moment of bliss as Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross welcome us. Greg Hamilton introduces Cross as Alexa's best friend. Bliss welcomes us and the fans pop. She says that they continue to celebrate 2020 Hall of Fame class on the road to WrestleMania 36. Bliss and Cross show graphics of the 2020 inductees, the Bella Twins, Batista and JBL. Bliss also sends a warning to WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Kabuki Warriors and tells them to stop hiding out on Raw. Come face with them. Bliss goes on and introduces 2020 Hall of Famers, the NWO, Kevin Nash, Hall, and Shawn X Mac Baldwin. Out they come to a pop, wearing the NWO t-shirts and using the signature music, Hollywood style. Cole mentions how Hogan is also in the group for the induction this year. Cross marks out for the NWO and takes a selfie with them. Bliss goes on and brings up how they once feuded with the WWE Universal Champion Bill Goldberg. Some fan chant for Goldberg. Nash mentions talking to Roman Reigns earlier this week and jokes about using the caddy prod to beat him at WrestleMania. The little taser. At WrestleMania 36, Cross Bliss and the NWO continue their discussion until music interrupts. Out comes Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro. Sami speaks on the way to the ring and mentions how they will win the WWE Intercontinental title from Braun Strowman at Elimination Chamber on Sunday. Sami ends up taking a shot at Waltman, saying he carried the bags for Hall and Nash for years. Waltman stands up and asks Sami, "What's up?" R-Truth style. Nash picks on how Sami looks. Sami says they could drop the NWO in seconds. Nash says they couldn't touch the NWO on their best day. Waltman says on any day. The NWO stands up and faces off with Cesaro, Zayn, and Nakamura. Bliss and Cross watch as the fans chant for a fight. Sami backs down and says that the NWO just wants to rub from them. And that's not going to happen because they are focused on destroying Braun. Sami and his crew are outside of the ring now. The music hits, and out comes Braun Strowman to a big pop. Cesaro runs up the ramp and attacks Braun on the stage. Strowman fights back and launches Cesaro into the LED screen. Nakamura runs up now, but Strowman headbutts him down. Then launches him into the barrier. Braun stares Sami down now. Sami runs back into the ring, but falls down in front of Waltman. Sami is trapped now. As Braun enters the ring, Braun approaches, but Sami just puts Bliss in front of him. Fans boo. Cole calls Sami a coward. Sami escapes to the floor. Braun throws a chair at him, and it just misses. Braun tosses more furniture out of Sami. Cesaro and Nakamura look on. Braun takes the mic and promises that all three will get these hands on Sunday. NWO joins Braun with a too sweet symbol, and then NWO music hits to end the segment. We see Sasha Banks and Bayley walking backstage, back to commercial. Naomi and Lacey Evans versus Sasha and Bayley was up next. Back for the break, out comes Naomi for our opening match. Lacey was out next. Tag team action. Sasha and Women's Champion Bayley were out next. Evans starts off with Banks first, but Bayley comes in and they beat Evans down in the corner with double team. And the referee warns them. Naomi ends up dropping Naomi ends up getting dropped on the floor, but Banks makes a save. Banks returns to the ring to pose. Then goes back out to launch Naomi into the barrier. Banks and Bayley continue to dominate as we go to commercial. Back for the break, Banks has Evans grounded, working on her leg. Bayley with another quick tag and a 2 count. We see the flashes across the screen, the glitches that have been airing as of late. Killer Cross, probably. Evans finally gets free from Bayley, but both opponents stop her from tagging. The lights were just flickering, nothing on the screen or anything. Evans rolls Banks out of the ring and then tags Naomi. Naomi sends both opponents out to the floor and flies over the top with a corkscrew plancha. Naomi brings Banks back in and flies at her with a crossbody for a 2 count. Naomi would kick to Banks. Now, Banks catches the kick and nails one of her own to the face. Naomi drops Banks with a kick. Naomi bulldogs Banks into the middle turnbuckle. Naomi flies into a sunset flip, but Bayley breaks up the pin just in time as the fans boo. Evans runs in and drops Bayley, but Banks drop kicks Evans' knee and then drop kicks her to the floor. Naomi drops Banks again. Bayley interferes, allowing Banks to stop the split-legged moonsault from Naomi. Banks with a double knees in the corner, dropping Naomi down into a roll-up for for the win. So Sasha and Bayley win the match. After the match, Bayley and Banks stand tall together as music plays. Kayla Braxton backstage with New Day. Big E and Kofi are all hyped up for tonight's gauntlet match and Sunday's Elimination Chamber for the titles. Sheamus versus Apollo Crews is up next. We go back to the ring. Out comes Sheamus. Back to commercial. Back for the ring, we see Bayley and Sasha bragging about their win backstage. They also take shots at the 2020 Hall of Famers, the Bella Twins. Banks says Bayley is her role model, but she will dedicate her album to Bayley. Bayley talks about their dominance and says no one can touch them. We go back to the ring. Sheamus waits as his music plays. We cut backstage to see Apollo Crews warming up. Shorty G approaches and Crews reminds him that he didn't want G's help. G says he's got Crews' back as they both have the goal of stopping Sheamus. G tells Crews to just say the word and he'll be there. Crews' music hits and out he comes to the ring. Crews goes right to work, but Sheamus cuts him off and drops him. Crews turns it around and nails across the body for a 2 count. Crews goes on and hits a standing moonsault for a 2 count. Crews keeps the aggressiveness offense going on, but Sheamus rocks him and beats him around the ring. Sheamus then unloads with uppercuts in the corner. Crews tries to fight back, but Sheamus nails a big bro kick out of nowhere for the pin and the win. After the match, Sheamus stands tall as his music plays. We go to replays. Drake Maverick's backstage with Drew Gulak. Drake wants an opportunity to compete. He wants to face Daniel Bryan. Gulak knows all 163 of Bryan's weaknesses and doesn't think Drake has what it takes. Bryan interrupts as Gulak is talking about his weak roundhouse kick. Bryan says he will be at Elimination Chamber this Sunday, and if Gulak is competent, he can exploit those weaknesses. Why doesn't he step into the ring with Bryan? As Bryan walks off. Silicon segment, the Firefly Funhouse returns. Back to commercial. Daniel Brooke and Carmella versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville was up next. We go back to the ring. Out first comes Carmella. Dana was out next. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose are out next. They pose on the stage until Dolph Ziggler joins them. As their manager, Deville nods and Rose shrugs in approval. Dolph heads to the ring with Rose and Deville. Carmella and Rose start things off. Rose takes it to the corner and it's fan chant for Otis. Carmella ducks a shot and moonwalks. Rose rocks Carmella and takes control. Deville tags in for the double team as Dolph looks on. Deville with a running knee to Carmella for a 2 count. Deville manhandles Carmella and keeps her grounded. Deville trash talks Carmella while keeping her grounded. They get up and Carmella sends Deville flying with a head scissors. Carmella with a kick and a tag to Brooke. They double team Deville. Brooke kicks Deville in the face and yells out to the crowd. Brooke with more offense, including a drop kick. Ziggler distracts Brooke, allowing Rose to tag in. Brooke doesn't see the tag and turns around to a running knee to the face from Rose. Rose covers for the pin and the win. After the match, Ziggler joins Rose and Deville in the ring to celebrate as the music hits. Shield cut segment, Firefly Funhouse again, back to commercial. Back for the break, announces Hype Elimination Chamber. Coleslaw leads us to a promo from John Cena for John Cena versus Fiend at WrestleMania 36. We go to Bray Wyatt for a new Firefly Funhouse episode. Looks like Rambling Rabbit is a John Cena fan. Wyatt has photos of Cena hanging on his wall. Rabbit mentions Cena beating Wyatt at WrestleMania 6 years ago. At WrestleMania 6 years ago. And we see a clip from that match. Wyatt says, time can either hurt or heal you. Wyatt says he's realized that the Funhouse wouldn't exist without Cena. Wyatt thanks Cena and forgives him. But there's a catch. Wyatt says Cena also helped create something else. Something built on pain and vengeance. Wyatt goes on and mentions the Fiend. He will be waiting at WrestleMania and he isn't as forgiving as Wyatt. Wyatt talks about no matter how bright you make things in life, the dark side always comes again, and that's why the beauty of a circle around and around we go. The screen continues to flash for the Fiend. Wyatt stares at the camera as he wants to be let in. Wyatt laughs and says goodbye to the segment. Goodbye. The announcer type Cena versus Fiend and Roman Reigns versus the Universal Champion Bill Goldberg at WrestleMania 36. Kayla Braxton backstage with King Corbin. Corbin interrupts her and says he's finished with Roman Reigns, but he's here to talk about his WrestleMania plans. We hear Elias playing his guitar off to the side. I didn't see that segment at all. Corbin goes over, and he's not happy with the interruption. Elias says Corbin's voice was annoying him, so he started playing. Corbin runs Elias down and takes a shot at who he is, calling him a gimmick and a one-trick pony. Corbin threatens Elias, saying if he keeps this up, he will have to answer to his king. Corbin walks off. We see heavy machinery backstage and the fans in the arena pop. Mandy Rose walks by and Tucker wants to handle it, but Otis apologizes for what happened on Valentine's Day. Rose says it's a little too late for that because a woman doesn't like to be set up how he did her. She walks off as Tucker consoles Otis. Back for the break, Graves says the next 2020 Hall of Fame announcement will be made on his After the Bell podcast on next Thursday. Gauntlet match, Heavy Machinery versus New Day versus the Usos versus Dolph Ziggler and Rude versus Lucha House Party versus Miz and John Morrison. We go to the ring for tonight's Gauntlet match, and out first comes the New Day, Kofi and Big E. Heavy Machinery, Tucker and Otis are out next. Winners of the Gauntlet match will earn a right to enter Sunday's Elimination Chamber match last. Tucker and Kofi start things off. Kofi drops Tucker first with an elbow. Back and forth. Kofi shows off some after a counter. We get a stalemate after a drop kicks. Big E tags in and faces off for Tucker. But he wants Otis. Fans cheer for the tag, and Tucker makes it. Otis dances around, and Big E dances back. They collide with shoulders in the middle of the ring. Otis knocks Big E back with a shoulder. They collide again, but Otis catches Big E and slams him in the middle of the ring. Tucker tags in as they hit a double suplex, holding him in midair. Kofi comes in, but Tucker leaves the Big E suplex to Otis while lifting Kofi up for a second suplex. They drop the New Day at the same time with suplexes. Kofi gets sent out to the floor, then Kofi next to him. Tucker and Otis follow. Tucker sends Otis into the New Day with a double clothesline as the fans pop. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Big E tries to turn it around on Otis. Tucker and Kofi get hot tags. Kofi flies in and drops Tucker. Then does a drop kick. Kofi drops Tucker again and hits a boom drop in the middle of the ring. Fans rally for the New Day now. Tucker ducks a Trouble in Paradise, but Kofi comes right back with a missile drop kick. Kofi sends Tucker to the floor where Otis is still down. Big E tags in and launches Kofi to the floor, but Tucker catches him and slams him on the floor. Big E comes out, but Tucker drop kicks him on the floor. Tucker brings Big E back in. Otis tags in for a trash compactor to Big E for the pinfall. New Day has been eliminated. Out next comes Greg Metallic and Les Dorado of the Lucha House Party. Metallic kicks Otis off the apron and springboards in at him. Dorado flies in and nails Otis for a 2 count. Otis and Let's go at it now. Otis stops the tag, but Dorado slides out of a hold. Tucker tags back in. Let's goes to work on him. Tucker launches Let's around across the ring for a 2 count. Tucker grounds Let's by his arm now. Let's fights back and causes Tucker to run into the corner. Metallic tags in, hits an assisted splash for the top. Tucker kicks out at 2. Otis comes back in, and Metallic rocks him, but it does nothing. Lynch comes in for a double team, but Otis is enjoying it. Otis blocks the double team and sends both opponents flying for a pop. Lance ends up sending Otis to the floor. Lance and Metallic springboarding to the floor, taking down both opponents on the floor for a pop as they go to commercial. Back for the break, Dorado gets double teamed. Tucker covers for a 2 count. Tucker grounds Lance in a half crab. Tucker keeps control and splashes Lance in the corner. Tucker misses the next splash in the corner as Lance moves. Otis tags in and stops Lance from tagging. Otis manhandles Lance to the mat. Otis with a bear hug to Lance. Lance ends up sending Otis back out, but he comes right back in to stop the tag. Lance catches Otis with a springboard stunner. Tucker and Metallic tag in at the same time. They go back and forth. Metallic with a big bulldog and a missile drop kick for a 2 count. Metallic grounds Tucker, now with a headlock. Lynch tags back in. Helps fight Tucker off. Lynch with a big top rope splash for a 2 count. Fan champ Otis, as Lynch unloads on Tucker with chops. Tucker levels Lynch with a big back elbow. Tucker stomps away now. Tucker with a splash in the middle of the ring for a 2 count. Tucker blocks some strikes and launches Lynch across the ring. Tucker knocks Metallic off the apron. Otis comes in and slices Lynch in the corner. Then nails the caterpillar for a big pop. Otis covers for the pin. Lucha House Party has been eliminated. Out next comes the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. They greet the fans at ringside, hit the ring as you go to back to commercial. Back for the ring, Jay has Tucker grounded. Tucker fights Jay off and tries to make the tag, but can't. Jimmy tags in. Otis gets super kicked off the apron by Jay. Tucker knocks Jay off the apron. Jimmy drops Tucker and super kicks him for his pin attempt. Tucker turns that into a roll-up of his own for a pin out of nowhere. Usos have quickly been eliminated. Out next come SmackDown Tag Team Champions Miz and Morrison. Tucker and Miz start things off. Miz attacks first and goes to work while Tucker tries to get ready. Morrison tags in for a big double team kick. Morrison with a 2 count on Tucker. Morrison mounts Tucker with some strikes. Morrison then with a running knee to the face. Miz comes in and levels Tucker with a kick for a 2 count. Miz and Morrison more tags and offense on Tucker. Morrison covers for a 2 count. Morrison kicks Tucker in the face for a few more times while he's down. Morrison mounts Tucker with some more strikes. Tucker finally levels Morrison with a big clothesline out of nowhere. Otis waits for a tag, and fans try to rally. Miz tags in and goes for a cheap shot on Otis, but it backfires. Tucker drop kicks Miz next. Otis is pulled off the apron to stop the tag again. Miz and Tucker go at it. Miz with a kick in the corner and a running knee. And then another. Morrison tags back in for some double team and more offense on Tucker in the corner. Morrison goes to the top and hits a big corkscrew elbow drop. But Otis makes a save just in time. Miz and Morrison double team Otis and take him back down. Miz drop kicks Otis into the barrier from ring. Tucker rolls Morrison up out of nowhere for the pin. Miz and Morrison has been eliminated. But as they both immediately double team Tucker and beat him up, they hit a double team move out of the corner. Otis comes in to make the save, but they send him out to the floor. Miz and Morrison launch Otis through the barrier now. Otis is shown as we see Mandy Rose watching backstage. Dolph Ziggler walks up and tells her not to worry about that guy. She wishes him good luck. As we see the mystery glitches flash on the screen behind him. Ziggler heads out to the ring with Robert Roode as Tucker tries to recover in the ring. Otis tries to recover on the outside. We go to commercial with Roode and Ziggler marching down the ramp. Back from the break, Roode has Tucker grounded as Ziggler cheers him on. Otis is still laid out on the floor. Tucker gets an opening and slams Roode back. Roode tags Ziggler in, but Tucker fights him off. Ziggler drops Tucker with an elbow for a 2 count. Ziggler taunts Tucker and waits for him to get up. Ziggler with a drop kick for a 2 count. Roode and Ziggler double team Tucker now. Roode with a neck breaker for a 2 count. Ziggler laughs at Otis from the apron as Roode works Tucker over. Ziggler tags back in for a double team. Ziggler rakes at Tucker's eyes as the referee warns him. Tucker tries to fight back, but Ziggler toys with him. Fans pop as Otis gets to his feet at ringside. Roode decks him, but Otis stops him and sends him face first to the announce table. Roode is laid out on the floor now. Otis slowly makes his way back to the apron as Tucker struggles with Ziggler. Otis is back on the apron now. Ziggler with a neck breaker to Tucker for a 2 count. Roode checks back in and double team Tucker. Tucker dodges Ziggler and runs right over Roode. Otis waits for a hot tag as the fans rally. Otis finally gets the tag and unloads on Roode as the fans cheer him on. Otis with a big back drop. Otis knocks Ziggler off the apron. Rude with elbows and a kick to Otis. Otis takes it and dances around as some fans pop. Rude with more strikes, but Otis just keeps dancing. Otis launches Rude across the ring. Otis runs into a boot. Otis blocks a blockbuster. Rude slides out and drop kicks Otis into the corner. Ziggler tags in, but Otis splashes Rude in the corner and knocks Ziggler off the apron at the same time. Otis didn't see the tag. Otis goes for the caterpillar on Rude, but Ziggler runs back in and super kicks Otis out of nowhere. Ziggler covers Otis for the pin to win, as Tucker can't make it back in to break a pinfall. After the bell, Ziggler and Rude barely have time to celebrate as the final SmackDown before Elimination Chamber abruptly goes off the air with 3 to 4 minutes left before 10 p.m. Ziggler and Rude have earned the right to enter Sunday's Chamber match. Last. 205 Live results, commentary, John Quasto and Aiden English welcome us to a brand new episode of 205 Live. As the show began, Quasto announces that after the brutal attack, Gentleman Jack Gallagher did to Lio Rush. In last week's episode, Rush has not been medically cleared to compete in the 10-man elimination tag match. That will take place next week. In an interview conducted earlier in the day, Isaiah Scott says that Team NXT has found a new captain, but doesn't say who. And WWE says, no captain, no problem. Ahead of the massive 10-man tag match next week, at Swerve Confident vowed to turn the house of 205 Live, or hashtag 205 Live, into hashtag Swerve House. Isaiah Scott versus Aaron DeVere. First match, Scott pushes DeVere off after a lockup. DeVere connects a shot towards Scott's midsection. Scott fires back with a jab, followed by a basement dropkick on the apron. Scott kicks DeVere, sending him down to the outside. Back in the ring, Scott targets DeVere's left arm in a snap submission. DeVere plants a neck breaker. DeVere lands three kicks, followed by another neck breaker. DeVere corners Scott with multiple right-hand strikes. Scott fights back, and a brawling move towards the middle of the ring. Off the second rope, Scott connects with a European uppercut. Scott with a flatliner covers. DeVere kicks out too. DeVere's boot ricochets off of Scott's head. Scott ducks out of the hammerlock DDT. Scott snaps the left arm of DeVere. Then climbs up towards the top rope and lands a double stomp right on top of DeVere's chest. Scott covers for the pin and picks up the win. And now the main event. Danny Burch and No Ray Lorcan versus Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis. Nese and Burch start off the match. Burch comes swinging with a swift right hand. Nese tags in Kanellis. Burch tags in Lorcan. Kanellis sends Lorcan to the corner. Kanellis lands a right hand strike on Lorcan. Lorcan moves over towards his corner. Burch tags himself in, but both Lorcan and Burch send Nese crashing into Kanellis on the outside. Kanellis comes right back into the ring and slaps Burch. Burch looks furious. Kanellis runs out of the ring and Nese meets Burch with a clothesline. Lorcan is now the legal man. Nese trips Lorcan right towards Kanellis' knee. Kanellis tries to keep Lorcan down with a side headlock. Lorcan slowly rises to his feet. Lorcan reverses out of the hole with an arm drag. Kanellis tags in and Nese with a body slam covers Lorcan. Lorcan kicks out of two. Nese goes for a moonsault. Lorcan moves out of the way in time. Lorcan crawls over and tags in Burch. Burch connects to a DDT on Kanellis, followed by another one on Nese. Kanellis and Nese in the match with a combination knee pump handle slam on Burch. Nese and Kanellis win the match. That concludes this week's episode of 205 Live. Dark match after SmackDown. KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, saw The Fiend Bray Wyatt defeat Daniel Bryan in singles action. The match went less than 10 minutes, and Wyatt won with a sister Abigail. That was it into this week's tapings. 205 Live was taped before SmackDown hit the air on Fox, as it was last week. Looks like 205 Live will be prior to SmackDown. That concludes my video for this week. See one of you. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.